My name's Mike McMahon. My business partner Jamie Hill and I are partners at McMahon and Hill Bloodstock. We pinhook weanlings to yearlings. I'm also a partner at McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds, and my wife Natanya and I have Spruce Lane Farm here in Versailles, Kentucky. Natanya and I bought our farm in 2005, and I pinhooked with Eddie Wood's yearlings to 2-year-olds at that time. And you know, it wouldn't be a good interview without telling you that I learned a lot from Mike Ryan, and I watched Mike Ryan work a sale and really work a sale hard. I kept seeing Mike everywhere I went, and he would buy one of the nicest horses, I thought. So, you know, he taught me to work hard by observing him. Back when Jamie and I partnered in 2010, you know, we started to play the weanling to yearling at a bigger level. We started pinhooking foals in the $100 to $250, sometimes even $300,000 range. And we've sold $4 million horses doing that. You know, crushing those big ones is just awesome. Meanwhile, I've always kind of kept my eyes open for the handy one for the farm, and you know, it's fun to pick up a 25 and get 100, or even a 25 and get 70, and those are a lot of times with partners, you know, just friends and so on. So, you know, pinhooking's been very important to us financially. It's hard to say what a pinhooker is. I mean, I'm a horseman by trade. I mean, I'm looking for, as a pinhooker, I'm looking for something that I can buy low and improve. You know, there's a pinhook that gets better because its pedigree gets better, or maybe because it gets more mature physically, or its vet report gets better. You know, so there's a lot of different ways. Or you buy the perfect horse in a low market and you sell it in a high market. So I guess I'm a trader. I guess you would say I'm a trader. I like to buy low, sell high, trade up. Although buy low might be a horse I appraise for 500 that I buy for 250. So you always have to be looking at margins and trying not to eat all the best part out of a deal when you buy it. So, I mean, appraising is very strong. I think you have to kind of know where the market is. Like, is the market strong right now? And maybe you should be waiting until it plays out a little bit before you start to sense that there's opportunity. You don't want to be, you know, bidding against end users, and there's a lot of end users in the market, especially in the weanling and yearling markets now. Our process starts with an all show, usually, of the foals. You know, if we're talking about book 1, 2, 3, it's going to be all shows. As we get later on, it's going to be pedigree choices. We make our pedigree choices, and we focus on the horses out of pages that are live. You know, maybe a 2-year-old or 3-year-old that's doing well. We love to buy from the family of a horse that we like ourselves, that we own. And we've got quite a few horses in training in management. So there's plenty of horses that we know something about, and so we want to capitalize on that information as well. After we've looked at the horses twice, usually Jamie and I will split the book, and then we'll switch lists and work back and forth. And we get down to a list that can be pretty concise. And then we do study the pedigree hard and really decide if this is a horse that's got upside, if we buy him right, and that sort of thing. Natanya vets the horses for us whenever we can. You know, that's a critical part of the whole equation, because vetting's become so important at reselling. Then after Jamie and I have assessed the vet reports and we've kind of decided which ones we're going to go on, you know, we're still trying to figure out where the margin is on this horse and how strong to go. And as you're walking up to the ring, you're seeing, you know, usually 3 or 4 of your competitors looking at the horses. Sometimes you're seeing an end user looking at your horse. You're hopefully going to see nobody, and then you're wondering if maybe you're going to steal the horse. My day at Keeneland November is long. I usually wake up at 5:30 or 5 o'clock, and a lot of times we're selling horses as well, and clients are in town, and clients want to buy broodmares and the pinhook, and so there's a lot of balls in the air at Keeneland November. It's the most challenging sale for me by far, and that's why it's my favorite, because I know that everybody else is doing the same thing, and I go back to the work ethic and, you know, what you learn by watching people that were successful. And you know that somebody else is going to be unprepared, and if you can outwork them, you're going to have gains. So it's a busy day, and as the auction starts, we're still working on the next day's horses as well. We don't rely on shortlisters. We like to look at the horses ourselves. So we're working through the next day's books, and then we're often going back up to the ring to buy a horse that Natanya passes, or I should say try to buy. So lots of phone calls, lots of texting. Partners texting in what they're, you know, we're still also trying to raise money and make sure we've got everybody in that wants to be in and kind of get everything set. So there's a lot to do. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of balls in the air. So when you buy a horse, whether it's at Keeneland or at a small regional sale, to be a horse buyer, of course, you've got to be confident, and you've got to understand the risk and assess it and not feel surprised. And usually I find that when I'm on a really nice horse, that go one more time, it almost gives you a little pit in your stomach, just like, is this the right one? Those are some of the best ones. I mean, those are the ones where you actually get the horse that really means a lot and it becomes an important horse. Then, of course, the emotions on the selling end are interesting too. I mean, we do these horses, we prep a lot of them at my own farm, or I should say our farm, Natanya and I. And so you're a little bit attached to them, you like what you see, and we've sold enough horses at a loss that that we wish we kept. So that you bring that horse up there, and it's kind of the moment of truth, and you spend the whole day with the consigners updating you on who likes your horse, and trying to keep your expectations real. And then you go up there with usually a seller's reserve, I'd say. A seller's reserve means that it's over what you paid and it's profitable, but it's not so crazy that it's going to RNA. It's a reasonable price, keeps everybody in the game. And as your horse goes past the seller's reserve and you think, well, I'm going to get 2 or 3 more bids, and then you get like 6 or 7 or 8, and you get a run, and you get 2 guys that really want your horse, and it's an awesome feeling financially, but it's an awesome feeling just for your pride.